Hello, thank you for stopping to watch my video today. My goal is to teach as many U.S. investors, U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. 1099 income earners, and also U.S. entrepreneurs how to save taxes legally with the Spendthrift Trust. It's legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. A little bit of history. It comes from England way back when King Henry VIII, that famous king who chopped off his wives' heads, started the Church of England so he could divorce his wives. He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England. And they went back to the 13th century to the Magna Carta and said, "Oh, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. This is contract law, and you can't tax us." Well, it came to the colonies while we were still part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. We're now in 2026, so it's 353 years old. Our current tax structure that we are under went into effect February of 1913. It was only supposed to be around for 10 years. The federal government was broke. Unfortunately, we got involved in World War I, the Great War, and our tax structure has only grown and grown and grown and grown since then. The super rich families of 1913, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, the Kennedys, made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they can save taxes, we can save taxes. Hi, my name is Sally Gimmon, and my personal story is that in 2019, with my mentor, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide and paid off all my debt. Woohoo! I'm a rock star in my real estate group. I had $50,000 in my bank account, and then COVID struck. How we did tax liens, we had to go through courthouses and everything shut down. On April 1st of 2020, my 3 properties did not pay me and I had no money coming in. Oh well, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. On April 4th, 2020, my CPA actually called me to say, "Congratulations, Sally. You made so much money in 2019. Your tax bracket went from 22% to 24%. By the way, you owed $94,000 in short-term capital gains." Congratulations. I told him I only have $50,000 saved. He goes, "Set an appointment. We'll set you up on a payment plan with interest so you don't have to worry about things." I don't know about him, but I cried myself to sleep that night. A great book to read is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. It's from the 1930s, so some of the ideas are a little bit old, but you put an idea in your head. I wake up at 5 a.m. on April 5th, and I knew I was going to contact a friend of mine who does HELOCs on paid-off houses. Defeats the purpose of being paid off, but I had to get an extra $24,000. I also knew I had read an article on the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office, and I started researching it for the next 5 months. In September of 2020, I started both my business and my Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. The gentleman who sold them to me, I said I would like to teach this in my Phoenix real estate group, because if I can save capital gains, interest income taxes, and rental income taxes, they too need to know about this. So I became his affiliate. I had a business partner, the gentleman who ran the group, and for 18 months, I did a mastermind every Thursday night. Unfortunately, the gentleman who ran the group cheated me out of $5,000 and took away my mastermind. Well, I'm a student of thinking into results by, I just forgot his name. Ooh, the Canadian. I'm sorry, I just forgot his name. My coach, Susan Ma, got on the Zoom the next day, and she says, "You need to do 3 things. You need to move, you need to find a new real estate group, and you need to start your own business." So in March of 2020, I started www.thetrustisyou.com to help all investors, all U.S. business owners, all entrepreneurs, and all 1099 income earners who are making at least $100,000 in 1099 income save taxes legally. The law firm I work on behalf of was started 78 years ago by a Harvard law professor. He wrote 5 specific trusts to save taxes. The business trust is for 1099 income. You will legally save at least 90% on federal income taxes and no longer pay state income taxes in 43 states. I'm getting my little cheat sheet here, so give me a second. Excuse me. So I helped a gentleman in California who made $200,000 in 2024, got to save $31,310 in federal income taxes and an additional $11,113 in 2025. So add them together, he got to save an extra $42,423 for the full year of 2025. He's at 24% tax bracket. This is an amazing document. If you're making at least $100,000 gross, you will save 5 figures. You make more than $100,000, you'll save even more than 5 figures. The business trust is for anyone making 1099 income. Google says that 34% of W-2 income earners, I can't help W-2 income earners, but 34% of them have a side hustle. Maybe they're selling, I don't know what they're doing. That side hustle is going to be in 1099 income. They could be saving that. Now, the second trust I'm going to talk about, the beneficial trust, is for all and every investor in the United States. You will stop paying taxes on all your profits. The 5 taxes you will save, you'll no longer pay capital gains short term, which affects if you're wholesaling, if you're fix and flipping, I can't even say that word, if you're doing auction houses or tax liens, if you're selling crypto, if you're an options trader, or if you're a forex investor, you will save short-term capital gains depending on your tax bracket. That's between 10% to 37%. Long-term capital gains are a year or more and will affect you when you sell your business, you sell an investment property, or a baseball card. They're either 15 or 20%, depending on, I don't know, I'm not a tax accountant, but I give you both numbers. So the first tax, capital gains. The second tax you'll save, interest income taxes. Again, taxed just like federal income taxes, between 10% to 37%. They affect you if you are a passive investor, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I personally have notes where I'm the paper in the house, people pay me their mortgage, I'm the Bank of Sally. Creative financing, seller financing, and forex investors. Yes, forex investors, you get double tax, capital gains and interest income taxes. You need the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Third tax you'll save, dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, you're a day trader, you're a futures trader, you're a commodities trader, or you're living off of dividends. Again, they're taxed just like federal income taxes, between 10% to 37%. The fourth tax you'll save is rental income taxes. Yes, you can move a property with a depreciation schedule or cost averaging into the trust because you're going to save taxes. You're going to keep your information completely private because this is on the federal level. 40% of LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps get sued every single year. And talking about lawsuits, all lawsuits can be frivolous. So if the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman, they can't come after the owner. I don't care if you have short-term rentals like Airbnb, vacation rentals, 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily, apartment buildings, you have commercial property, or you're doing Airbnb arbitrage. And the fifth tax you'll save, year after year, generation after generation, is royalty income taxes, which is on talents or if you have NFTs. Now this is taxed a little bit less. Still 7 different layers and 4 ways to file your taxes, but it's between 10% to 35%. Robin Williams, the late great actor, had the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. His 3 adult children pay no royalties on any of his great work. I just watched Mrs. Doubtfire right before Christmas. Still love that movie. Now, those are the 2 main trusts I sell. Paul Benson wrote 5 different trusts. The Business Trust for 1099 income earners, the Beneficial Trust for all investors. Then there's the Mineral Rights Trust. If you have oil wells, shale rights, or coal rights, I've only sold one of those. Then there's a Charitable Trust if you're a 501c3 company. And then there's also a Senior Trust. The individual must be over 65 years old and incapacitated. Maybe they had a stroke or they have dementia. With every single trust that Paul Benson wrote, you will file a 1041 tax return. This is important because if you are over 65 and on Medicare And if you're single, these are 2025 numbers, if you're single and make more than $106,000, everything added together, what you get from Social Security, what you get from your pensions, what you get from working, what you get from your 401k withdrawals, your SIP withdrawals, capital gains, interest income taxes, dividend income taxes, rental income taxes, or royalty income taxes. If you make more than $106,000, they will put a surcharge, it's called IRMA, on your Parts B, Bravo, and Parts D, Delta, on your Medicare. If you're married and make more than $212,000, the surcharge would be on Part B and D of your Medicare. Every October, the IRS goes back 2 years. So October 2025, they went back to every 1040 tax return and checked out anyone on Medicare and added it all together. Because you file a 1041 tax return, IRMA surcharges go away too. I helped a couple who started the Beneficial Trust because they were making great money on dividends. I got to save them over $72,000 in dividends per year. But he was not aware that each one of them were paying over $800 per month for Medicare. They do still have to pay the $185 per person. Everybody on Medicare pays that. But they got to save more than $600 a piece per month. And the wife is just like, that's such a headache off of this. If you want to find out more, I have a free masterclass at www.thetrustisyou.com. I also have a free class on the Great Discovery. When you go out there, you're going to sign up as a free learner. The class is called Save U.S. Taxes, and it can be translated into 165 different languages. I have a client, a husband and wife, whose first language is Korean. They watch my class in Korean. They have 3 laundromats in the San Francisco area. When they got on my Zoom, they had their adult son who speaks English better than I do, but the dad had his 2024 taxes, and we were able to save husband and wife over $82,000 in both federal and California state income taxes. Also, when you go out to the Great Discovery, you're going to get 3 articles from Forbes magazine I did not write. You're going to get 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content and examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. My goal is to teach this to as many U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchisee owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors how they can save taxes legally. Please, when I post this video, I'm going to have a way for you to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Today, I got to help a gentleman in California who's going to save over $56,000 in federal and state income taxes. He's so surprised by that, he asked me to send the documentations to him right away. Thank you for watching this video. Now that you've learned the secret of the rich, put it into effect and start saving taxes legally. Have a wonderful week. Now that you've learned the secret of the rich, put it into effect and start saving taxes legally. Have a wonderful week.